Dark clouds gathered. Lightning flashed. Thunder crashed. And a dead tree, struck by lightning, burst into flames. The wind began to blow, and soon the flames were leaping from tree to tree.
Fire!
Said the little parrot.
Fire, run, run to the river.
Then the animals, seated among us, got up and ran around trying to find the river. Animals, feel free to get up and run around. I see one looking for the river. We'll be safe if we can find it. And then they found the river and they sat among the other animals who had made it to safety and were there already. Then the little parrot, flapping her wings, followed them to the safety of the river's shore. But as she flew, she saw below her many of the forest's great trees surrounded by flames. She saw that some animals were trapped by the fire. Suddenly, a desperate idea, a way to save them all, came to her. So please rise and body your spirit as we sing Woyaya. The words are up on the screen. You'll notice this morning, Reverend Tricia will say more later, that we'll be going in and out of the story. Story, then to other elements, then story. So animals, enjoy your ride with us this morning.
We recognize that Champlain Valley Unitarian Universalist Society gathers on the land seized from the Western Abenaki people by European colonizers. We respect the Abenaki spiritual relationship to the land and waters of the Champlain Valley. As we gather, we pay homage to them, their ancestors, and future generations by committing ourselves to building a more inclusive, just, and respectful space for all. Welcome to Champlain Valley Unitarian Universalist Society. Good morning. It is so good to see you. Thank you for being here. I am Esther Charlestin, a member of this congregation. Today, I'm honored to serve as the worship associate for Reverend Hart and to serve with Poppy. Yay! This morning, we will experience an ancient Buddhist tale that illustrates what it means to live with a generosity of spirit. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We welcome you to bring your whole self with all your truths and your doubts, because those pop up now and again, your worries and hopes. We also encourage you to sign our guest book located in the foyer, so we can get to know you better and have you be a part of our weekly blast. So there is many ways to stay connected. We'll be here after the service, so join us for some coffee and refreshments. We also have an open mic night on Friday. I hope to see you there with all your songs or dance. And we have a Thanksgiving dinner, November 23rd in the Fellowship Hall, so please join us if you're not with family. And now, Reverend Hart.
Thank you, Esther. Ooh, it's a little loud. Now it's better. I'm Tricia Hart. I'm one of the two contracted ministers to this congregation this year. It is delightful to be here with you. I only get to be here a couple of times a month, so every time I come, you may need to remind me again of your name. I hope you will help me get to know all of you, which is one of the most fun parts of being a minister. So my task at this moment is to tell you a little bit about how this service is special. If you have never been here before, this is not the way the service normally starts. We're doing a story service in which, as Poppy said, the story is the holder for the whole hour, and we take little breaks in it to do parts of the service that are important too, to the life of the congregation, and even, I hope, to the story itself. This, I think, is the first really whole congregation story service that this congregation has done in quite a while. So if it seems strange and unusual to you, that's okay. It's strange and unusual to everybody. The idea is to take a story and let that story teach us for this particular day. So we get to take a break from the sermon. We get to use the whole room, even with running, some of us. We get to invite some children and grown-ups to play, and actually to all of you for being part of the play. In a little bit, Esther is going to hold up, not right this minute, but you can get ready for it because you have lines in the story too, and Esther will be your teleprompter to let you know what you're supposed to say. And there will be lots of music. Thank you, Ronnie. Thank you, band. Thank you, choir. Thank all of you, because the music is a part of the story as well. I did want to say that the order of service, which is a helpful thing to have, you may not have one because maybe they were gone when you walked in, and that's because we're actually trying to wean ourselves just a little bit from everybody having to have a piece of paper. So is there anybody that wants to sit close to somebody with an order of service because you don't have one, I'm going to let you identify yourselves. Oh, look, people are sharing. The theme of the month is generosity, and here it is, in action. Thank you for going with that. So stories are a really good and important way to explore truth, and especially how truth feels. Take just a second to think about that. Think about what it feels like in your brain and in your body when you encounter an idea or an event or a conviction that just feels true. Maybe you're coming up with something. I'll give you another chance to think about this later. But I think sometimes that we connect truth with thinking. We connect truth with facts and reports and things that we say and write down, and all of that is part of how we know something is true. But there's also the how do we just embody it? How do we know when something is true? The little parrot today is our teacher, because the little parrot is feeling and acting out of that feeling, and the feeling of knowing what the right thing is. The feeling comes first, and the thinking comes after. Sometimes I think that's the way life is, and it's good to remember that. And Poppy and I both like this story, and one of the things that we've discovered is that we like it for not exactly the same reasons. In fact, if you have a conversation with Poppy about what the story is about, and then you have a conversation with me about what the story is about, you may not hear exactly the same thing. Isn't that cool? I think it's actually quite wonderful, because I think it is our varied experiences in life that help us as a community to learn from each other and to figure things out and to know what's true. So in this story, I hope that you will, as the story goes on, I hope you will notice what you're feeling as well as what you're thinking. What you're feeling about the brave little parrot and the other animals, and a little later about the gods who float by. We have gods floating by in this service too. Think about which character is most like you, and think about which character inspires you to believe in yourself. Maybe believe in you being and embodying something that maybe isn't quite true now, but could be. So, the theme of the month, as I said, is generosity. And the idea, you'll be hearing about it all month, but today, I want to think about the idea of generosity as the way that we give of ourselves when it's comfortable and easy, and sometimes when it's not easy at all. So thanks to Poppy, thanks to Katie, thanks to the whole cast and the tech team, bold, intrepid. Would you just all appreciate the tech team? Just please, because they work so hard every week. Thank you. And Esther's going to light the chalice, and I will invite you into the congregational response that some of you learned a couple of weeks ago. I'll say a line, and you can say it back. It is a blessing to be here. It is a blessing to be here. It is a blessing to be here now. It is a blessing to be here now. It is a blessing to be here now together. It is a blessing to be here now together. We light our chalice in that spirit of blessing and togetherness and community. And now our story.
suddenly. Suddenly, a desperate idea. A way to save the forest and the animals came to the little parrot. The little parrot went and called to the animals who had gathered by the river's edge.
Elephants, please fill your trunks with water to spray on the flames. The rest of us can dip our bodies in the river. We can carry water in cupped leaves too. Let's work together with paw and beak and mouth and leaf cup to save our home and friends.
And the animals responded,
The fire is too big. There's nothing anyone can do. The fire is too big. It's hopeless. Do you think that maybe there's a time that you've thought something like that too? I certainly have. It's just too big. It's too big a problem. I don't even thoroughly understand it. I don't know how to talk to people about it. And actually, I worry that I'm just going to make it worse. So it's hopeless. So much in life and in the world seems hopeless right now. Do you feel that way too? I do. Hopeless, at least in the sense of believing that anything that you or I or we can actually do could make things better in the world. So the hopelessness is not just about the challenges in the world. The hopelessness is about, and this is the part that's not good, the hopelessness is about us. It's about what we might be able to do. And hopelessness, what does hopelessness feel like? I feel like, for me, it's about being stuck and silent. What does hopelessness feel like to any of you? Heaviness. It's just too much to even get out of your seat. Enervating, yeah. Hopelessness. Any other ideas? Out of control. Ooh, that's a particularly yucky one, isn't it? I don't feel optimistic about this, and I don't even know the next thing that's going to happen. Francois? Lonely. It's very lonely to feel hopeless. So what do we do when we're feeling hopeless and lonely? Do we go out and do we call a friend and have a good time? Probably not. Probably not. We might stay home, which makes us feel even more lonely. I don't need to do the list for you, but I will just say there's climate, there's war, there's poverty, there's racism. There's so many big things in the world. And probably, for many of us, small things right in front of us too. There's nothing any of us can do. It's bigger than we are. It's hopeless. So this story, and lots of real stories that we see and hear and live in every day, prove that that hopelessness thing is actually not right. At least it's not completely right. People, regular people like us, are generous enough, like the parrot is, to believe that they actually can do something, despite the bigness of the challenges and the smallness of ourselves. The little parrot, I don't think, thinks very much about being small. The little parrot is just aware that she's in a place, there's a thing that needs to happen, and it's okay if she comes up with a desperate idea, is that what it is, that might make a difference. We don't even know what that idea is. We're making you wait to hear. This week, this time in the world, there are sometimes on Facebook, I will admit that I spend some time on Facebook, usually late at night when I ought to go to sleep, but sometimes there are sayings, expressions, ideas that get out there and people like them and share them and spread them. So you may have seen this little bit by Howard Zinn. Howard Zinn, who wrote The People's History of the United States, he died in 2010. He lived a long life. He was a historian, he was an author, he was a writer, he was an activist. He said many things, and many of the things that Howard Zinn said I have found kind of upsetting, discouraging, scary. And this is another thing that he said. To be helpful in bad times, he wrote, is based on the fact that human history, I wrote helpful and I should have written hopeful. Helpful is good too, but let me start over. To be hopeful in bad times is based on the fact that human history is not only of cruelty, but also of compassion, sacrifice, courage, and kindness. If we see only the worst, it destroys our capacity to do something. If we remember those times and places where human beings have behaved magnificently, this gives us the energy to act. And if we do act in however small a way, we don't have to wait for some grand utopian future. The future is an infinite sequence of succession of presents. The future is an infinite succession of presents. And to live now as we think human beings should live, in defiance of all that is bad around us, is itself a marvelous victory. Now our story continues, doesn't it?
Milestones of passage.
Yes, but in order for me to read milestones and passages, I need to have remembered to ask you to bring them up. So I'm not going to read them now. I'll read them a little bit later. And if you have a yellow card, a milestones, or a passage, just bring them up, give them to me, put them on the table, and I will find them. Thank you for that reminder.
So we're going to, I'm going to be talking about you. Yes. So just start there. Okay. The animals thought it was hopeless to fight the fire. But the little parrot saw a way. She went to the river. She soaked her feathers in the cool water and filled a cupped leaf. She flew back over the burning forest. Flames leaped at the little parrot. It was hot and smoky, but twisting and turning through the fire, the little parrot flew bravely on. At last, over the heart of the burning forest, the little parrot shook her wings. The few drops of water that still clung to her feathers tumbled down like jewels into the flames. She poured the water from her leaf cup. The water drops vanished instantly. Then the little parrot flew back to the river. Once more, she dipped her feathers in the water and filled another leaf cup. The animals watched and were worried.
Stay with us, little parrot.
It might just be possible, so I'll try, she said. And once again, she flew over the burning forest, shook her wings, and let those few glittering drops of water fall into the fire. Back and forth the little parrot flew, to the river, back to the forest, to the river, back to the forest. Her eyes started burning. Her feathers were charred. Her claws were cracked and hurt. She coughed and choked. But still the little parrot flew on.
It might just be possible, so I'll try. For the next couple of minutes, I want to invite you to take that idea, it might just be possible, so I'll try, and think of a time, maybe a time in your own life when you thought that something might just be possible. You really don't know for sure if it is. And you certainly don't know exactly what will happen. But because it might just be possible, you decided to try. I'm going to give you a minute to think about that, and then ask you to turn to the person next to you. If you're willing, you can also just sit in the hubbub and think your own thoughts. But I'll invite you in a minute to think about, and I think the question is going to go up there too. Wonderful, thank you. Was there a time in your life when you thought, it might just be possible, so I'll try?
All right.
Share with each other, if you want.
All right. You had a time when you thought, like in real life, when something seemed incredibly hard, but you thought, well, maybe I'll try it. I've had times, what came to mind for me is I've had times when I was having a fight with somebody, sometimes like the kids, Callie or Milo, and we were all feeling really terrible. And I kind of just wanted to like walk out of the house and leave. And I tried to just really like calm down and listen, like just go and talk again and try to find a way. You just say it's itchy? You know, I mean, if you just kind of touch it like, you know, a little poking, it's not as bad. You said the hair is bothering you? You could try doing this too. No. Is it? Oh, really? Huh. Right, we could make it worse for you, so you'd be decided. Sure, yeah. So where was it? Damn it. Of course I had. When I worked at bridge school with my dad, who definitely had undiagnosed ADHD, I would find his coffee cups like all over the building, just everywhere. You know, in the microwave to heat up, but then like in the bathroom, like they just were. Yeah. And then people said later, like, right, everybody moved his cup. Like, you just always were bringing his cup either to him or back to the kitchen. That was just like a constant, yes, kids did it. Kids would find the cups and bring them back. Yeah, thank you. It's great. All right, we're going to sing There's More Love.
Here's what I hope. I hope that you began a conversation that maybe isn't done yet, and you'll get back to it later. Now we're going to sing. The choir is going to, and Ronnie's going to help us, and I'm just going to say one more time, if you have a yellow card that you'd like for me to read a little bit later during the song, is a good time to bring it up. Please rise, body, spirit.
do in just a second. The parrot was getting tired, trying to put out the fire by herself, but she kept trying. To the river, wet her feathers, to the fire, shake them out, but she was slowing down. She perched to rest for a moment to get a breath. Now at this time, some carefree gods drifted by. Laughing and talking in their palace of sunlit clouds high above the parrot. They were eating honeyed foods and sipping sweet wines, admiring each other's clothing. The little parrot got up and flew off again to the river to get some water and back to the fire. One of the gods happened to notice what the little bird was doing, flying far below.
Look at that foolish bird, trying to put out a forest fire with a few sprinkles of water.
Can't she see that won't work?
Ridiculous.
The god left, but one of the gods, strangely moved, stayed behind and changed themselves into a golden eagle. And flapping their eagle wings once, twice, 3 times, they went down, down, down toward the little parrot. As the little parrot flew by, the eagle appeared by her side.
Little bird, a few drops of water cannot save a forest. Stop now and save yourself before it's too late.
But the little parrot did not stop or turn back.
Great eagle, time is running out. I don't need advice. I just need help.
She just needed help. But where was it? On the little parrot flew. The great eagle was amazed. For each instant, the heat grew fiercer. The eagle flapped their enormous wings and rose back, up, 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 into the cooler air high above. Far below them, they could see the little parrot continuing to fly to the river, to the fire. The eagle thought about the other god, laughing and talking, and how they had been eating and drinking as the forest burned. Then, for the first time in all of their endless life, the god felt ashamed.
We are gods, after all.
They exclaimed.
We should do something.
we should do something. We should do something. We try to remember that every week in the midst of our worship together by taking up an offering. You may not think of it that way, but I do. This is an opportunity for us, even in the midst of a worship service, to do something. This month, in particular, to share the offerings with Gedakina. I believe that is a pronunciation, anyway, of a word in the Wabanaki language, which means our world, our way of life. Gedakina focuses on the challenges of youth and women and communities, the challenges they face every day, which are, of course, rooted in exposure over many generations to systemic poverty and oppression and violence. It might just be possible for you and me and all of us to make a difference. So I'll try. And I want you to know that if you do have an order of service and you know what a QR code is and how to use it, it's actually super easy. I was wrong, John. It's super easy. It's super easy to just get to that spot where you can make a gift, even if you haven't ever done that before. If that's the kind of thing that you like to do. There are lots of other ways to give, and it matters that we do that. So as we get ready for the offering to be collected, I do want to share with you the couple of milestones and passages that I received this morning. One from Neely, who is mourning the loss of her beloved and quirky Aunt Sarah McCracken of Brownsville, Vermont, who passed away on November 1st. And a note from Marnie Wood, who also greeted me with this wonderful news as I came in this morning. Oh, what fun, she says. We had dancing in this beautiful space last night. Many thanks to Richard Hopkins and Carol Hardin and Ronnie Romano for organizing the music and hospitality. We were dancers of all ages and experience. What a joyous time. I hope we do it again and that you will join in. I hope so too. This morning's offering will now be most gratefully received. One of the wonderful things that you all do is to greet one another as we celebrate the generosity of this congregation. So even before you start to sing, Make eye contact with somebody and greet them. Please rise. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share thy life. Thank you. I receive, to you I give, together. You're great. We live.
The eagle god felt ashamed. All at once, the great eagle began to weep. Tears fell from their eyes like glistening jewels and drops of water coming down and down on all of the flames. On the fire, on the forest, and upon all the animals. And wherever those tears fell, the flames went out. Glistening tears dripped from burned branches and soaked into scorched earth, and the forest became quiet and still. And wherever those tears touched, new life burst forth. Green grass pushed up among the still glowing ashes from the fire. Blossoms opened, leaves unfurled. The little parrot flew with new colorful feathers that she had gotten from the water drops, from the tears. Feathers red as flame, green as leaves, yellow as sunlight, and as blue as the river. Such perfect colors, such a pretty bird. The fire is out, cried the little parrot in her joy.
Look, the danger is past.
And the animals looked at one another in amazement. Washed by those tears, they were all whole and well again. No one was harmed. And they cried out to the little parrot, "Hooray for the brave little parrot." And off flew the brave little parrot. Overhead in the clear blue sky, the animals could see their friend looping and soaring in delight with her new feathers and her heart lighter. She had done all she could, and somehow it had saved them. And now we get to have the choir save us some more. Yeah, can you take this for me?
Are you sitting down?
No, you should stay. Just
Stay
we're
there.
gonna-
I think Poppy wants you to stay there.
Just join in just a second.
So, our words of benediction. Act the way your heart tells you the truth. Do the little things that you can do, and who knows, all kinds of things might change. So may it be. Go knowing that you are blessed. But don't go yet, because you have to sing.
We're going to end with another